It's the Spider-Man revolts? The Spider of Man revolts. I guess Spider-Man popped up in the medieval ages. Can we get Thanos to snap his ass back? Welcome back, guys, to basically the only reaction channel on YouTube made for intellectuals. That's right, I'm not the intellectual, you guys are. When you think about it, all our videos are talking about history, geography, countries. I've got a pretty smart fan base, and that's great because you guys get to point out all the times I'm being just a dumbass. So here you go, here's CK2, we're doing CK2 to EU4, and the borders are gonna get bad. The borders are probably gonna get really bad. You're gonna find out exactly why I was okay with not using this game for the mega campaign. Which you guys seem to really enjoy that last video. I had an amazing response, so I definitely wanna do another one, and I will include Crusader Kings next time, even if it does make the map look a little messier. So we're gonna be focusing on the Byzantine Empire, and what if they never fell to the Ottomans? They're gonna make it through this entire video. And I know there's a lot of people that have like big Byzantine boners. This video is totally for you guys. So I believe this dynasty is going to survive throughout the entire portion of CK2, or the first part of this video. They're going to be around for a while, so they're probably going to have some very interesting leaders. We're actually doing another 1,000+ year campaign. We've got a very long way to go, so let's get started. I would like to remind people that CK2 gets pretty crazy. So there are nations that will come out of nowhere and be looking all powerful, but in a couple decades, they can just completely disappear. So just try not to get your hopes up. So 20 years into it, and we already have 2 big revolts, which keep in mind there's gonna be tons and tons of revolts in this game, but one in Umayyad territory, the other in Middle Francia, which they were doing fantastic. This is almost like too good to be true. Oh, and the Umayyad Sultanate actually happened to put his wife in the dungeon. She's imprisoned. It says it's a regular marriage here. Sounds about right. So the big conflicts we gotta watch for are the Vikings attacking the British Isles. That should be coming soon. Maybe starting to happen right now, actually. And this is probably not a very good sign. I think I know why the Scandinavians are gonna be so successful. Do British people have a problem? Okay, this is the type of stuff I was talking about. All right, do not nut too early. There's no way Germany's gonna last. So they have this 3-year-old king of everything, just super superior. But Paradox, come on Paradox. A little strange, attractive, 3-year-old. I don't even wanna know what y'all are into. At the same time, Byzantium's doing pretty well as they expand towards the east. Things are looking nice. Besides the fact that they have this king that is not only possessed, probably needs an exorcism, but is also an impaler. This deprived character likes to spend his nights in the dungeon, inventing new ways to torture unfortunate victims. But honestly, there's only good things that come out of this. Maybe not even a bad hobby to pick up. The Scandinavian countries seems to be dealing with quite a bit right now. It's probably not fun to have this new territory kind of far away from your homeland. While Bavaria has just eaten all of the Italian peninsula, or almost. Again, probably not something that's gonna last for more than a century. A nice thing for India is usually one of these places will kind of unify the area or look pretty good going into EU4. And by that point, they'll be leading the world for the most part. Someone here is probably gonna have a very good game. Then there's also this Western Protectorate, which I think is just basically Tibet or something like that. Either way, they're gonna be around for a while. And they're gonna be looking pretty good at some points. Ouch, and Germany's already starting to kind of break apart here. Yeah, they're starting to lose control. France might kind of explode out of them too. Okay, yeah, this is looking real messy. Oh, I do not wanna be here right now. I just wanna see the Picts last like one game. I feel like they always die. Oh boy, and Byzantium has their first homosexual leader. Or who knows, maybe that's just Google spreading fake news. They do that sometimes. Damn, and the Middle East had some exploding. I don't remember like who was here. This region was for the most part kind of united. Definitely not anymore. And mistakes have been made in Western Europe. Pretty massive mistakes. I don't think Germany's even gonna survive to EU4. But at the moment, we do have a very nice Hispania. Hispania that's actually Sunni, by the way. Mostly Sunni. There's some other stuff in there too. Oh man, poor Bohemia. The king of Bohemia has diarrhea. Forgot about like how that used to be able to just kill you. Honestly, it might be a good thing that it affects his fertility, because goddamn man, you need to calm it down. Just give your wife a break. He's either banging a whole lot of thoughts out there, or he's just busting out triplets. Either one works. A lot of these kids are either 0 or 1. He's got one that's 4. Diarrhea should be the least of your concerns. Oh, and the plot thickens, as the wife only had 3 kids. And one of them is incapable. Is that what I am? And just to show off this insanity, yeah, CK2 probably has the most conflict out of any Paradox game, and it's only 907 AD, so there's plenty more to come. Of course, we also still have the Mongol invasion, which should be coming up in about 300 years, somewhat give or take. That can go kind of in 3 ways. I've seen it go way overboard, where they get all the way over to France. Sometimes they do kind of their normal thing. Other times it's like weak, like it can't even get past the Caspian Sea. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty big factor here. I didn't know people could survive the plague. The Byzantium queen, I guess, had the plague and then doesn't have it anymore. How the hell does that happen? Oh shit! Oh my god. Okay, I didn't even see this. I don't think I've ever seen this. I don't have much experience in CK2, but this shit is just busting out everywhere. I guess this is just normal. I just haven't really paid any attention. Like every single month, it continues to just kind of get worse for the most part. It's really just attacking Europe though. And it's just doing a big old circle now. It's up into modern day Russian lands. Is everyone just gonna die? I think that would be an okay way to end this video. Either way, it seems like that had no effect on the Byzantine Empire, as they have just continued to grow more and more, although they've lost some lands in kind of east of Turkey. They'll probably get it back though. And this Western Protectorate thing is starting to look real thick, real nice and thick. This is actually probably gonna cause a lot of trouble for India. Now be careful here, ladies, because this man, this is the face of a master seducer. He leaves a trail of broken hearts and bastards in his wake. I feel like I'm about to get pregnant just by looking at him. Seriously though, I mean, the man is doing his thing. He's got his main wife, he's got 3 secondary wives, which he's 44, so they're obviously much younger, and then 2 lovers. That's 6 partners, man. Like, who would even want that? Do you know how much work that'd be? I don't know what this is, but the icon is not really going away. It's really trying to get my attention. It's called the, it's the Spider-Man Revolts? The Spider of Man Revolts. I guess Spider-Man popped up in the medieval ages. Can we get Thanos to snap his ass back? I don't know who did this, but Italy has been formed about 1,000 years before they did in real life. I thought it was initially Bavaria that might have caused this, but no, they're still chilling. This is pretty awesome. I've never seen this before. Someone in India, some grandparent, left their life behind to travel to the Chinese Empire. It doesn't even say they died. She could still be there just waiting to get that future opium. And I guess the Mongol Empire is slowly starting to happen. Seems kind of early, actually. That might be a bad sign. Also, yeah, Norway is still on the British Isles, and we just entered the 1100s. But it does look like the Irish are starting to maybe push them out, though. Now that's a mustache. That's a real man stash. If I ever go through puberty, I would want something just like it. Okay, are there like 2 different Mongol empires? We got this green one in the Middle East, and then there's still, I think it's just a glitch or something like that. But yeah, the Mongols are definitely invading, and they're doing kind of all right. We also got to keep an eye on these African nations. You know, I mean, if they just do all right in CK2, especially if they, you know, make some pickups in the north, when we get to EU4, they're gonna have a lot to go from there. Now this is smart. This is real smart. Poland's starting to think on their feet. You can't gangbang them from both sides if there are 2 different Polands. This is what I like to see. And Lithuania is kind of having a nice little renaissance going on. Again, it's CK2. I don't know if it'll last, but everyone should have a chance where at least they, you know, look big and thick for a couple decades. Okay, couple things. First of all, Byzantine Empire, they're looking great, which is a good sign. They've got to survive another 500 years, so I expect them to probably do that. Also France. France is back. France, what the fuck? Like, you don't... this is why CK2, man. Bohemian Norway is also a nice little touch. The Mongolian invasion was a huge failure. Like, well, I shouldn't say huge, it just didn't do very well at all. It got to Persia, I guess, but that was about it. It kind of fell apart after that. The other big thing, which you guys probably already saw, but the empire formerly known as the Umayyad has just reached out into, I guess, German lands. Again, they are Sunni, so that's going to be interesting in EU4. I probably should have paid more attention to this. Definitely, like the whole crusade aspect. I need to really get better at that. I guess it didn't go very well. Actually, at the moment, here are the 5 leading religions, so it shouldn't really come as much of a surprise. Actually, now that I think about it, Catholicism barely even exists. Oh, there we go. That's much better. We've got a leader still leading their territory at the age of 80. I mean, she's literally leading troops into battle right now. Do not fuck with this lady. It looks like this Indian nation is gonna be the one. They're gonna be the one to probably last for a long time. maybe even win the whole game. Although, they clearly have a long way to go. The Byzantine Empire is just continuing to expand. Nothing's really stopping them. Okay, so here we're at the end. It's November 11th, 1444. We're done with Crusader Kings, but there have been kind of a few things that have happened. First of all, the Umayyad, yeah, they kind of struggled here. They lost a lot of their German territory, and they gave Italy actually a lot of strength. Out here in the east, this Western Protectorate is going pretty nuts. I mean, they've got like Persian territory, even Arabian territory off that peninsula. I don't really know how well that's going to work, though, as we go into just a completely different game. And yes, we will see an Ireland that is looking pretty good for the most part. They have a lot of work. I mean, I would like to see them colonize, but it's definitely still up in the air. So here we go. It's EU4 time, but real quick, you might notice that the map doesn't look exactly the same. I think the biggest difference here is obviously Bulgaria. Bulgaria's popped out. That has something to do with the fact that, like in CK2, it's considered just a part of the Byzantine Empire, but in EU4, this is actually a vassal. But you know, this does open up a possibility that some of these people with these new vassals may lose them, obviously making them a lot weaker. So yeah, that could definitely change a lot here. And you probably already saw, for the countries that weren't part of the CK2 map, in EU4, they're pretty much just normal. Korea, Japan, Indochina, Africa, obviously the Native Americans. It's as if we just started this game right now. But here's a pretty interesting list. So here's the world's greatest powers, at least according to EU4. But you know, we're only at the halfway mark. A lot of things are gonna change. We'll see if Byzantium can stay at number 1. By the way, I didn't even mention this, but I don't know what happened to France. It was like they were here for a second with all this random territory, and then Ireland took over. Again, CK2's weird, so it must have had something to do with like monarchies, mating, and whatnot. Let's keep in mind that this Indian nation was ranked 3rd on that Great Powers list, but I am playing with Dharma, so yeah, they might possibly get colonized. Religion's about to be real strange. I can't wait till we get to the 1800s. I mean, there's no Catholicism, which means we're not going to see any Protestant uprising. And in terms of like colonization, it's either going to be mostly done by the Orthodox, Sunni, or Norse nations. Oh, real quick, we need to trigger that bust a nut alarm. Okay, there's going to be a lot of people that maybe all of a sudden bust a nut. Most culture is now Greek. I'm gonna need a new pair of pants. I think it's pretty cool that the names are still the same. Like, I guess that shouldn't be that impressive, but I mean, technically this dynasty could survive all the way to the end of this video. Oh, and the Umayyad have technically westernized. I think they did it back in CK2, or I don't know if the converter does it or something like that, but yeah, I'm assuming this nation is gonna start with most of the colonization. I thought there was a chance that we were gonna see some sort of strong North African power. You know, there's always a couple nations that rise up and start looking good. Like, I thought Egypt was doing a lot better than this. I don't know, they just kind of failed. That's a good sign. That is a very, very good sign. I love seeing this in EU4, just hundreds of thousands of rebellions happening in Chinese lands. Okay, good. So, Ming Explosion, here we come. Or Jin Explosion, whatever. This also means that, you know, let's say the Indian subcontinent unifies. For the Europeans, they would struggle getting, like, you know, those coastal colonies, but not in East Asia. Not when China's divided into just dozens of different countries. I know the border war started off bad, but I promise things will get a little bit better, and they're already starting to, as Italy takes over in Central Europe, and the Umayyad are starting to fix things in the West. Problem is, we're really gonna need to see Byzantium integrate Bulgaria, like, as soon as possible. Like, I don't wanna look at this anymore. I'd rather just contract the Black Death. Yeah, Norway, I need you guys just to please give up here. I know you like Iceland and stuff, but let Ireland have the island. Just for science. I mean, because if you don't, Ireland will be landlocked in Scandinavia. And that just doesn't feel right. That's what I like to see. Okay, Mali's already starting to eat up all the sub-Saharan African nations. If they keep this up, they might give the Europeans a lot of trouble. And it looks like Denmark is also in a very similar situation as Ireland. The Danish are stuck in Ireland. These Vikings are in the wrong neighborhood. In the east, we've seen a full-on explosion. Things are looking nice and divided over here. The Japanese are starting to unify, of course, and Korea's looking nice too. The Italians just discovered Australia, but it doesn't really matter. Oceania, I swear, is almost always colonized by other just stranger powers. Whoa, and it's looking like Brunswick might possibly have the game of their life. They're gonna have a good chance of colonizing here. Also, Estonia. Estonia also doing, well, not as well, but they're looking pretty juicy. I'm guessing this is pronounced Saurus or something like that. They were called Saurus France, but they lost a lot of that to both the Italians and the Umayyad. So they both gained a lot of strength. And this is a pretty big problem if you're rooting for Byzantium. That is for sure. I knew this was going to be a problem for them. These lands are occupied by Bulgaria. which probably means they're going for their independence. In the west, we have Italian La Plata, so that nation is going to try to colonize, even though they're not really in the best position. There's more up here. Also, Brunswick, they're doing their thing in Colombia. It's going to be sexy. And the Irish, about 150 years into EU4, is just kind of falling apart. I don't really blame them. I mean, their territory was just all over the place, but yeah, I think Lancaster's probably going to take over. The Mamluks as well. They're just gobbling up Egypt, and when they do, they're going to put a lot of pressure on Byzantium. Colonization has been slow, real slow. I don't know if that's just a conversion thing. I think that's normal for any like CK2 to EU4 game, but it feels like the Italians are really the only ones doing anything. I mean, they've got a chunk of South Africa and a part of Madagascar, and just a few places in the Western Hemisphere. I want to say Turkestan, of all nations, is going to be, I think, the Russia of this game, which maybe is a good thing, because if Byzantium got all this land, they'd pretty much be unstoppable. There we go. Okay, so Lancaster's finally decided to join the party. It's about time. So yeah, they're gonna, I guess, act as the British, or kind of a later starting British Empire. And as Byzantium's getting their ass handed to them in the east, that's nice. I did want to mention that there is no HRE. I think that's kind of obvious, but I don't know if we'd ever see one doing a conversion video like this. I feel like the chances got to be pretty low. Okay, gotta be honest, never really considered this to be a possibility. One of the Chinese nations now colonizing Alaska and other parts of the Pacific. But Wu is boo. Wu is very boo. I'm trying to say they're looking good. I don't know, I'll stop. But the Mamluks are already over here like taking colonies. That's not really normal, I think. Not today, Satan. Not today. Sweden, you better take your OPS out of here. Okay, I don't want to see you. Do not ruin another one of my videos. Classic EU4 right here. Mongolia. Yeah, you know, their performance in CK2 was just so shitty, like they might be having an identity crisis. No surprise here, of course, both Australia and New Zealand are of Malayan culture. Basically all Malayan culture, and I think they'll keep it. I don't know if anyone will be able to take this from them. And Byzantium is failing. Byzantium's failing pretty bad. They can still make a comeback. They're still pretty powerful, surprisingly. They just, I don't know, they gotta get together. Thank you, Brunswick. Okay, you saved us. You saved us. If Sweden won again, we were gonna have a big problem. Like, I'd have to talk to Paradox myself. This is getting ridiculous. Which now finally, in the 1700s, which is very late already, colonization is starting to happen. North America's pretty packed. Mostly, we got Brunswick. We still have the Wu area. I think this is India. Yep, India has California and Mexico. And the South is just as chaotic. I mean, we have the Italians still, Brunswick, Lancaster. This is where they're putting most of their eggs, I guess. And the Umayyad finally did something. I guess that's good, even though it's kind of disappointing. This is kind of funny because we do not see this often. We might not ever see it again. Bulgaria, kind of colonizing Africa. That's a first. And I guess Turkestan is also having mental issues. They are in fact acting as this world's Russia, but they're having some sort of a split personality. There's another Turkestan down here. Then there's Turkestani India. Then there's this spot. I don't know. I guess that's the other evil Turkestan. Whoa, okay, so the Byzantine Empire still has some fight left in them. Surprisingly, they took a big chunk out of Bulgaria. Bulgaria is nowhere near the strength they were, but they're still struggling with the Italians and pretty much everyone else. The Mamluks are looking great. I'm actually surprised that they've done this well. Problem is the Umayyad have clearly caused them some trouble, at least in Arabia. And that might continue. And of course the Italians, who I think is easily the strongest nation around, is the only one brave enough to take on India. Clearly that was a very bad choice though. Rest in spaghetti. Oh no, you do not want this. Has Mao been reincarnated slightly earlier in this universe? Don't be fooled by his beauty. He's probably gonna kill a lot of his own people. So we are at the end. I kind of pushed the campaign a little bit further than the traditional end date. But one thing I gotta say is, you know, these borders don't look that bad. CK2, yeah, they were terrible, but at least EU4's kind of cleaned it up. Oh shit. Oh my god, I didn't even realize this. So, Italy is not Italian. That sounds weird, I know, but I wanted to check the culture map mode for the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, and Italy dominated over here, but it turns out they're mostly French and German. Italy is mostly French and German in this world. Spaghetti jokes don't even work with these people. Here's some slightly good news. I guess if you're rooting for Byzantium, ultimately you probably got disappointed, but at least a lot of this stuff was Greek. Yeah, the nation itself, ouch. And the fact they didn't even colonize either, That kills me. Here's a final look at the top 8, and I think the thing that stands out the most is Kilwa, a South African nation. That's amazing that they even made this ranking. As for the top of the list, man, it was close. It was really close. I thought Italy was easily dominating, but no, I always underestimate India. As time goes on, who knows? I think they could have passed them. Here's a look at the religious map mode. I love that Norse is still around, but yeah, ultimately this world's dominated by Sunni, not surprising, but Hindu as well. Like, that is amazing. That kind of came out of nowhere. Last thing though, this was a good learning experience. I don't know much about CK2. Obviously, I'm pretty horrible at that game. I didn't really want to just jump into a big old mega campaign without doing more videos inside of Crusader Kings, so this was good practice. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. A big thanks to Patrick Harvey, Yeetus That Fetus, Raging Fruit, Mr. Fister, Tanner of the Nazareth, Princess Emma, Yeet God McNeckass, Delta Aurora, Dr. Freaky, Abraxas, Ben Moke, Jen's Love Disc, Daddy Seabeans, King Solomon, Kiwi Supreme, Maxi G, Swiss Argo, Bruce Vacation, Matthew E, Elijah Senpai, Kirby, and Elfie C.